resident from Tagara here since 1960. Been a ratepayer for some 35 of those years. I'm a marine engineer by training, and you need to know I have Parkinson's disease, so if I get a bit shaky, don't be concerned. It's just the way I am. I'd like to start with a quote. Overall goal: to provide a wide range of appealing open green space for active and passive recreation to contribute to the health and well-being of the community. Does anybody know where this came from?
Our long-term plan, our vision statement.
It's actually Reserve Management Policy 2010. Now, my submission is based on the fact that I think the reclassification of Kindergarten Street to community purposes actually disadvantages the ratepayers in that area, particularly those with children, and the long-term aesthetic of the area. And it's part of a growing trend towards, what I see as a growing trend towards the loss of open spaces in the suburbs. In 2010, when the Reserve Management Policy was written, there was a comment made that the RTF suburb was lacking in such green spaces, but I see 5 years later, nothing's actually happened there. The idea of removing trees and reuse and reclassification of reserves changes the aesthetic from a green one to high density housing. It's not the best use of this land. The area has a high percentage of children, as Mr. Bruce pointed out, and is of low decile standing. One of the things that people in this town are struggling with is the increase in the pool fees, which goes back to low decile, low income, lots of kids, and the problems that involves. The effect of removing yet another playground for these kids could be quite dramatic. Also, I have issues with the proposal to build pension units, mainly because of on their thing. They also come up with some scheme whereby they could architecturally design around that issue. I know Mr. Mead here has issues with leaves and tree branches and things like that, but really when you look into that, that's only a 4 to 6 week period of the year during autumn. And if you go down there now, it looks particularly attractive having all the large green specimen trees there. It also will mean that the only reasonable sized area of flat land is lost for games like Killy and touch and what have you. The alternatives for the children in this area is Strathmore Park, which has obviously been cited for closure, saved some $35,000 in mowing fees, and I believe that is in favour of commercial development for housing, etc. And this is in a time when Tagara clearly got a falling population, and there is a reasonably high number of vacant buildings in the town. Only last week, Moore Seaport Park Reserve has also been cited for a change of classification, but I suspect that may change. I'm very concerned about this council's attitude where they have an ad hoc expenditure on things like in reserves and other places, things like the exercise equipment, $120,000. Nowhere to be seen in the long-term plan or even the annual plans. And I do note that in 2006 there was some 279 hectares of land under reserves management, if you like, in the South Waikato district. Today, well, I would contend that by 2017, when they closed, if they closed Strathmore Park and the reserve we're talking about today, it would be down to 240 hectares. That's quite a big drop in any person's consideration. I think the council currently sees the reserves as being some sort of land bank, and given that there's plenty of land around Tagara, I think it's actually misusing the Reserves Act. There's also considered the proposed construction method for these pension units as it stands. The use of unskilled labour is only going to result in poorly built, substandard dwellings. I think the cost of $950,000 or $980,000 that's currently been cited, I think it'll exceed $2 million. I do have some experience in costing jobs, not in the building trade, but the engineering trades, and I consider that I'm quite skilled at doing it. Also, the building of pensioner housing or community housing in any way, shape or form is a trend. There's a trend to go for councils to divest themselves of that type of activity. Many councils have chosen to sell some 300 or 400 flats and letting private industry take over. I think we're catering for economic refugees from Auckland, and I don't think that given the 2006 statement that the council pensioner schemes housing was to be run at no cost to the ratepayer, or very little, I think the rent stated for these new dwellings was something like $145 a week. I think the reality to make that pay and to cover the cost of the construction, etc., you're going to be up around $230 a week. Pensions clearly don't have that sort of money. The whole scheme is fraught with difficulty. The other thing with using the Polytech construction method, that means the job's going to run out to 4 years, which has been suggested. Whereas if you put it to a private contractor, you get better use of money, and the whole thing will be done in a year's time. Having a 4-year period to construct 10 dwellings, you're not going to get significant discounts on materials and things like that, because it's just not that high capital value. I also have an issue with a council that says they're promoting local businesses. The builders here have effectively lost a $2 million contract because they've chosen to back the local Polytech. I think that the whole, also known with interest, that council have given, I think it's $680,000 to the Regular Trust for pensioner housing. I seem to be correct if that's wrong, but I question the need for that, particularly when you now see prime time adverts on TV selling the same units for $229,000, which apparently is quite cheap within the industry. I think the needs of pensioners have outweighed the needs of youth in this town, but I question it because pensioners are here for a finite time. The youth are the future of this town, and we should be encouraging, not restricting their exercise regimes or their fun, and allowing them to have attractive areas for recreation. Yeah, it's hard for me to say this, but I'm quite passionate about it. I mean, I've been in this town for a long time, and I've seen a lot of things that don't add up, basically. Any questions?
I think you, and I'm pleased that I have listened to your submission, because I believe as I sit round this table here that I see a group of people who have served the community so well in so many ways, who have actually taken their position as councillors to actually improve Tokoroa, Tauru and Te Reo and work.